What's up, y'all? What's good? It's Marcus Frazier from Teachable Tuesdays, here to motivate you, encourage you, and inspire you to be a better you. Thank you for joining me this morning, or today, or if you're watching this at night, this evening. Greatly appreciate it. If you could, please leave a like, comment, because it's good for the YouTube algorithm. And if you haven't already done so, subscribe. And to all my new subscribers, welcome. Thank you for joining the channel. Greatly appreciate it. I feel like I've been having to say this because I've been just getting a lot of new people lately. But this is a motivational channel where we talk about different subjects, relationships, religion. Sometimes we talk about politics. And it's really all in the effort to just, help us come together as a community, make us a better individual, or better individuals, I should say. And, get a different perspective on things. You won't just be getting my perspective. You'll also be getting perspectives from others from time to time as well. Excuse me. All right. So today's topic actually came to mind from me talking to a couple of close friends, associates, and other individuals. And it's something that has been on my mind for a while. I was like, you know what? Let me get some different perspectives before I talk about this. But now that I have, I can talk about it. So, how many of you guys have ever heard of this saying, no response is a response? Pretty sure we've all been there, right? I know I have. That is very true. No response is a response. But just because no response is a response, that doesn't mean it's a good response, if you catch my drift. And that's going to be the topic of today's video. No response, being a response, is not a good response. For those of you who have been subscribed to my channel for quite some time, you know that I'm very big on communication. I'm very big on letting people know, hey, do your best to communicate with others because it's important. You know what I'm saying? It's very important. It's crucial. And it builds very good social skills. We live in a society where when we don't get our way, we're so quick to disappear. When, to be honest, a lot of our problems can be fixed simply through communication. Now, before I talk about the no response is not a good response, let me talk about the times where no response is actually good. There are two situations. Number one, you are blatantly being disrespectful and you've told the person about that, and then you're no longer responding because they continue to be disrespectful. Or number two, they've crossed the boundary that's so extreme that it's probably best if you just ignore them. Those are two conditions where I believe no response is a good response. 1 second. Sorry about that. My Nike app was going off. I'm doing my morning walk / run. But yeah, so those are the only two conditions where no response is a good response. Other than that, I feel like a lot of issues can be resolved by talking it out. Had a conversation with a good friend of mine the other day where we were talking about how there was a situation where they left this person pretty much on red. So I asked them, what was the reason for it? And they said, well, they figured that they would get the picture. And I said, okay, was this something that was communicated, beforehand? And they were like, no. And I said, okay, so you didn't set your stance, right? The reason why I say communicating is so important in terms of the no response is a response is because I feel like everybody needs to set the stance. Everybody deserves to make their stance known. Now, whether somebody agrees with your stance or not, that's on them. And at the end of the day, if they can't respect your boundary, that's a personal issue with them. But you have to make your stance known. I will give you a perfect example. Let's say, ladies, there's a guy that you're not interested in, right? And he's offering in advance. Now, it's not like he's been offering advances time and time again and you keep telling him no, right? It's the first time he's offering you in advance. He's like, hey, I would like to take you out sometime. I was wondering if I can get your number. And you don't respond, thinking that, oh, well, he'll get the picture if I don't respond. That's not right. That's not right. Okay? Now, I know some people will say, well, Marcus, they have a right not to respond. They can do what they want. Yes, you can. But that's not clear and effective communication, which is what we're practicing on the channel. The way to respond to that would simply be to say, no, thank you, I'm not interested. Now, I know some ladies, and I get it, they might say, well, Marcus, I don't want to respond because I don't want to deal with the backlash of, well, screw you, and that's why you was ugly anyways. And first and foremost, not every guy's like that. And second of all, if you're a guy that's telling a woman that, I'm gonna need you to tighten up because that ain't the right way to do things. But you've made your stance known by simply saying what you're saying. Now, if you choose to ignore them after that, if they keep pestering on, then okay, I'm all for it. You made your stance known, you no longer have to respond. But if you didn't even make your stance known about the situation, and you think, oh, they'll get the picture. I mean, somebody like me will get the picture, because I'm not going to keep bothering people. You don't respond, I'm going to wait for you to respond back, because listen, we're on our phones a lot throughout the day, unless we're at work. So, and even then, a lot of people are work on their phones. So, I'm not going to keep pestering somebody. If you don't respond, I'm going to assume that you're busy, or you saw it, you'll respond later, or you just don't want to respond. But effective communication is being able to respond to situations like that. That's just one random example. You know, there are many examples, but the point that I'm making is this. You can't just assume that just because you're not responding to somebody and you haven't made your stance clear yet, that they should get the picture. First of all, human beings are not mind readers. Second of all, unless that person is relatively close to you, they don't know what you're thinking. And even if they are, they still don't know what you're thinking. It's your job and your responsibility to make sure that you are making your notion clear as day as to if you like something or if you don't like something. Once again, once you do what you got to do and handle your business, if the person takes it the wrong way, then guess what? Who does it fall on? Them, not you. You've done your job. You can move forward and do whatever. You know what I'm saying? And I think this is important because we're so used to just thinking, oh, we could just ignore our problems. And I think this is actually, you know what, praise God. This is what it kind of ties into a little bit as well. We think that we could just ignore our problems, but and thinking that they'll just go away. Oh, well, if it's not something I'm going to deal with, I'll just ignore it. It'll go away. I mean, yes and no. It might, but that's not necessarily a healthy way of dealing with things. You know what I mean? We got to be very mindful, very, very careful about that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So, to wrap up this video, because I don't want to ramble on and go too long, I think the point has been made. Like, communicate, okay? Let your stance be known. I don't care what age you are, what gender you are, what religion you are, what your stance is on life. Make your stance known, all right? If somebody asks you for your number, make your stance known. If somebody asks you to go somewhere, make your stance known. If somebody asks you to do something for them, make your stance known. After you've made your stance known, if they don't take well to it and they respond in a disrespectful manner, then I believe you do have the right to not respond, because at that point, you've made it known what you want, what you're going to do, or what you're not going to do, or what you don't want, and there's no further explanation. All right? So again, this is Marcus Frazier from Teachable Tuesdays, here to motivate you, encourage you, and inspire you to be a better you. Remember, at the end of the day, I love you, and this is all opinionated, but I do this in the effort to hope, and in hopes that, you know, we can come more together as a community. I know it may be times where it seems like I'm a little bit of a hardball with certain subjects, but I definitely do it out of love. I never do it out of malicious intent. And if there's ever a time, and I just want to put this out there, I haven't had a critical issue with this, but I just want to put it out there. If there's ever a time, guys, where maybe I need to have a different perspective on things, you know, let me know. Because at the end of the day, I'm not perfect. I make mistakes. I make bad choices. My viewpoints sometimes can be a bit one-sided. But just because I think a viewpoint is the best viewpoint doesn't mean it is necessarily the best viewpoint. You know what I'm saying? I'm always open to ideas. This is why I always want you guys to leave a comment under the video, because I want you guys to tell me what you think. Maybe you might not agree. Tell me why. Respectfully, of course. Maybe there's some points that I left out. And if that's the case, cool. Let me know. I'm not an expert. I'm not a life coach. I'm aiming to be a life coach one day, but I'm not quite there yet. And even when I do get there, guess what? I'm still going to make my errors. So if you could, leave a comment. Tell me what you think. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, there's things I can improve on. And yeah, look forward to more coming your way soon. Love you guys. Peace.